Ever get that feeling you're being watched? That your every move, every click, every conversation could be tracked? Well, that's not some sci fi movie plot anymore. For a lot of people, it's becoming a reality. Today, we're going to dive deep into the blueprint for a full blown surveillance society. And just as important, we'll look at the story of the grassroots movements fighting tooth and nail to protect our privacy. To really get a sense of the scale and ambition we're talking about, you just have to hear this quote from a US Senate report. The goal is a network that is, and I'm quoting here, omnipresent, fully networked, always working, and fully controllable. That right there, that's not just some dry policy goal. It's a terrifyingly clear mission statement for total control, and it really sets the stage for everything we're about to discuss. So, that report, which is actually called The New Big Brother, pretty on the nose, right? It basically lays out the entire playbook for a modern surveillance state. Let's break down how it all works. For this explainer, we're really looking at two key reports that tell two sides of the same coin. On one side, we've got that US Senate report, which maps out this idea of digital authoritarianism, using tech to control people. And on the flip side, we have a report from the UK activist group Big Brother Watch, which shows us what the fight for privacy looks like on the ground. Together, they paint this incredible, full picture of the threat, but also the resistance. So, how exactly do you build a digital surveillance state from the ground up? It's a huge question, but the US Senate report actually gives us a kind of four-part recipe. Let's take a look at the ingredients. At the absolute heart of this is a concept called digital authoritarianism. And look, this isn't just about having cool new gadgets or advanced tech. No, it's about systematically turning that technology into a tool of absolute control. It's about weaponizing digital tools to watch citizens, to crush dissent, and to manipulate what's true and what's not, both inside a country and outside its borders. The report says it all stands on four main pillars. First, you build the surveillance state itself. We're talking AI-powered cameras everywhere, facial recognition, biometric tracking, the whole shebang. Second, you build the censorship apparatus to control the flow of information. Third, you create a legal system with broad, kind of vague laws that make all this state control seem legitimate. And the final piece? State investment. You pour public money into the companies that build the surveillance tech, creating this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. Okay, but what does this look like in the real world? The numbers are just staggering. The report points to over 200 million surveillance cameras already deployed in China, with plans to more than double that. Let's put that in perspective. That's more than one camera for every 7 people. This goes way beyond public safety. We're talking about building an infrastructure for mass observation on a scale we've never seen before. And here is the absolute kicker. This model, this whole system, it isn't just staying in one place. The crucial point the report makes is that these same technologies and the ideology behind them are being actively exported all around the world. It's creating a global marketplace for digital control. So how's this happening? Well, in a few ways. You've got huge infrastructure projects like the Digital Silk Road. You've got companies directly selling AI surveillance technology to dozens and dozens of countries. Places like Venezuela, Ecuador, and Zimbabwe are mentioned. But it's not just about the hardware. They're also providing the know-how. Governments are literally getting training seminars on how to set up these systems. It's like they're handing over a global playbook for surveillance. Okay, so this is where it gets really personal for a lot of us. What happens when these incredibly powerful tools and the mindset that comes with them start popping up in established democracies? What happens when that blurry line between security and surveillance starts to completely disappear right in our own backyards? To try and answer that, we're going to shift gears and turn our focus to the United Kingdom, because that's where an activist group called Big Brother Watch is on the front lines, leading the charge against the spread of surveillance. This is the other side of the story, the citizen-led resistance, one battle at a time. And what's so fascinating here is where these fights for privacy are taking place. We're not talking about some high-level, abstract debate. No, this is happening in the most normal, everyday places. It's happening in food banks, at the entrance to your gym, and in the halls of Parliament. It's a battle being fought on every front, big and small. Their report details all these different battlegrounds. They took on facial recognition being used in a food bank and forced a national gym chain to scrap plans for it. They launched a creative public awareness campaign about Chinese state-linked CCTV cameras. They organized opposition to a potential central bank digital currency, which could track every single purchase you make. And they went head-to-head with a government unit they dubbed the Ministry of Truth for monitoring online speech. And you might be wondering, Does any of this actually make a difference? Well, yeah. Take that digital currency idea. Their campaign helped generate over 50,000 public responses to the government. 50,000. That's one of the biggest responses to a government consultation in years. And it shows that when people are aware of what's at stake, they will absolutely make their voices heard. All right, let's zoom in on that Ministry of Truth campaign because this part is pretty wild. It was all about a UK government group called the Counter Disinformation Unit. Its job was to flag online content it thought was problematic during the pandemic. But what Big Brother Watch uncovered when they started digging, well, it was startling. So get this. Teaming up with X, which you probably know as Twitter, Big Brother Watch found that a staggering 58% of the content this government unit flagged for removal didn't actually violate the platform's own rules. Let that sink in for a second. It strongly suggests the government wasn't just targeting misinformation, but also perfectly legitimate, if dissenting, speech. So the ultimate question, right? Does all this activism, the investigations, the campaigns, the public pressure, does it actually work? Well, according to their report, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. They've had some major victories for privacy. I mean, just look at this track record. The government tried to expand its mass surveillance powers in a new bill. They got them to roll it back. That government rapid response unit that was monitoring online speech, it got shut down completely. A national gym chain wanted to make facial recognition mandatory for entry. Nope, they stopped that plan in its tracks. These are real, tangible wins. And I love this part. Big Brother Watch is super clear that they couldn't do this alone. They say, our victories belong to our supporters. Thank you for making history with us. It's just such a powerful reminder that this fight for privacy isn't about one organization. It's a collective effort driven by ordinary people who simply refuse to stand by. So at the end of the day, all of this leaves us with a fundamental choice. As technology gets smarter, that line between security, convenience, and our own personal privacy just gets blurrier and blurrier. The real question is, where do we draw that line? And maybe even more important, who gets to decide? This explainer shows the tech is pushing hard in one direction, but people are definitely starting to push back. The only question left is, which side will win?